A secret government squad that consists of people with superpowers who take down criminal organizations in their own unique ways. A girl named Sakura Koji notices a boy burning some people with blue flames and gets a cop to check it out. But they find nothing when they reach the spot. The next day at school, Sakura and her friend Aoba meet the new transfer student Rei Ogami. Sakura suspects him to be the culprit behind last night and confronts him over the glove he's wearing. Thinking that he's probably hiding burns, Ogami seemingly proves his innocence, but Sakura continues to be suspicious of him. Later, she struggles to win a dog's affection, and then Ogami shows up and plays with the dog. Sakura tells him about a criminal group called G Falcon that had killed the dog's previous owner. Now we learn that the Prime Minister has sent Ogami to the school for a secret mission. In the night, Sakura tries to help a man who's being bullied by G Falcon. The gang attacks her and the dog tries to protect her, but gets fatally injured in the process. Just as things are about to get ugly, Ogami arrives and puts the dog out of its misery, after which he burns the entire gang. Sakura is shocked to see Ogami like this, and then he seemingly burns her as well. Sakura wakes up the next day unharmed and goes to ask her parents what happened. She learns that she was found cold and shivering by the gate. She investigates the venue of the murders, but there is no evidence of what she saw last night. She tries to tell Aoba about Ogami at school, but he stops her from doing so and threatens her. Sakura worries Ogami might kill Aoba if she tells her anything, so she distances herself from her. She forces Ogami to walk with her after school and pushes him to tell her the truth. Ogami confesses to killing G Falcon and has no regrets whatsoever because he has no identity. He toys around with Sakura for a bit, after which he reveals that he is a codebreaker who operates outside of the law to punish evil. Sakura vows to stop him from killing other people, but he simply laughs it off and ridicules her. He leaves after promising to burn anyone who learns his secret through Sakura. On his way home, he receives a call from a mystery woman and tells her that Sakura is a rare breed who cannot be burnt even by his flames. Meanwhile, another codebreaker named Yuki runs into an ex-codebreaker Hitomi. Yuki tries to fight him, but is stopped by his accomplice Yuki Hina. At school, Sakura and Ogami vow to observe each other to avoid any risky business. But this leads everyone to believe that they're dating. Ogami and Sakura run into a girl named Nenene Fujiwara. She's a little creepy with Sakura, but she's fine with it. Ogami mistakes her for an old rival and almost kills her, but Sakura stops him. Later, Ogami gifts Sakura the puppy of the dog that tried to protect her at the park. Then he brings her along to a Yakuza gang, where some corrupt police officers are also present. He is offered to join the drug trade but simply kills everyone without hesitation. He thinks of doing the same to some of the victims but leaves them alone after Sakura intervenes. She tries to show him some affection by hugging him, but he simply knocks her out. Then he goes to kill Takata, the corrupt superintendent working with the Yakuza. Takata tries to escape, but then another codebreaker named Toki appears and kills him with his magnetic powers. We are now taken to a flashback where we learn that there are 6 codebreakers controlled by an organization called Eden. Ogami is tasked with killing a corrupt politician named Tabata. He accepts but is rebellious against Eden. Sakura wakes up at home again and lies to her parents about where she's been. As she heads out, she meets Toki, who says he's here because of Ogami messing up his job. Toki tries to flirt with Sakura, but Ogami interrupts them. They fight for a bit, but then Sakura stops them. Ogami and Sakura head to school, but Sakura spots Toki at the premises. Upon further questioning by a teacher named Kanda, Toki says that he is from an elite school and is here for auditing purposes. We also learned that he is Nenene's brother, owing to their physical similarities. However, since codebreakers have no identity, Nenene doesn't know that she has a brother. At night, Toki and Ogami break into a government research facility and take down the security easily. But then 2 more guards appear, and they are carrying backpacks that give them special powers. While investigating the facility, Sakura learns that the codebreakers answered directly to the Prime Minister. The puppy leads them to Tabata, who reveals that he has been conducting illegal research on children with special abilities and also harvesting their organs. The guards appear again and attack the team. During the battle, they notice that the backpacks have kids inside them. Both of these children had younger siblings who were killed in the initial research. Ogami and Toki kill the guards, and the children finally die in peace after getting some form of justice. Ogami is about to kill Tabata as well, but then we see his crippled daughter Chisa. Tabata was conducting this research so that he could find a suitable donor for Chisa, and this makes Sakura feel for him. However, Ogami does not accept his reasoning and kills him regardless. Chisa is heartbroken to see this and tries to kill Ogami with her powers but passes out. Meanwhile, Toki meets one of Tabata's accomplices and learns that the mastermind behind all of this is Hitomi. Eventually, the children from the facility along with Chisa are taken to another location. The Prime Minister covers up Tabata's death and then meets Toki, who is actually his son. He had joined Eden as a way to keep Nenene safe from their father. A codebreaker named Oji meets Ogami and orders him to keep Sakura safe, after which she rides away. At school, Ogami suspects something fishy after he sees Sakura acting secretive with her friends. But it just turns out to be a welcoming party and he is overwhelmed by the kindness of classmates. Meanwhile, Toki suddenly collapses in an alley, and we later see him in the form of a child. The Prime Minister is informed that 43 government agents have gone missing, and he suspects Hitomi to be the culprit. Hitomi kills the agents and controls their bodies with his electric powers, after which he sends them to Sakura's school. The agents attack Sakura and Ogami defends her, but he starts to lose his powers. Miss Kanda reveals herself as an agent of Eden and helps them out, but even then, Ogami cannot keep up and collapses. Things don't look good. But then, Yuki appears and stops the agent from harming the school kids with his sound waves. One of Sakura's classmates, Heike, also shows up and reveals himself to be a codebreaker. He defeats the agents using his light powers, and then tells Sakura that Ogami has gone lost. Kanda explains that Ogami is in his lost form because he has overused his powers and will take a day to recover. The team decides to keep Ogami at Sakura's house to keep him away from harm. Sakura's father, Gotoku, is the leader of a Yakuza clan, and he welcomes them inside. Toki is already shown to be in Sakura's room, and she learns that his lost form is that of a child. Ogami wakes up the next day and chats with Gotoku for a bit before Hitomi invades the house. He defeats Yuki and kidnaps Sakura, but is stopped by Heike. The other codebreakers also arrive and Hitomi unleashes his true power on them. However, Sakura puts herself in the line of fire and nothing happens to her because of her rare breed powers. Hitomi ultimately reveals that his attack was just a distraction, and Yukihina has kidnapped the Prime Minister while the codebreakers were busy. Toki is uninterested in helping his father and leaves as Yuki turns into his lost form, which is a cat. Ogami rebukes Sakura for being so reckless with her life, but she remains firm on preventing others from dying. Heike explains that Hitomi used to be the leader of the codebreakers and cannot understand what grudge he has against the Prime Minister. Ogami grows more interested in Sakura as she tends to Gotoku's injured man. He learns from her parents that she was abandoned as a child and was discovered with blood all over her body. The codebreakers decide to split up and look for the Prime Minister. At the bridge, Oji asks Heike why he didn't leave any backup with the Prime Minister and reveals himself to be a traitor. Explosions begin all over the city, and Heike declares that Hitomi's plan has begun. He attacks Oji, seemingly killing her as Yuki watches from a distance. Then he tricks Sakura into following him to Hitomi's secret base, where the Prime Minister is held hostage. He offers her to Hitomi in exchange for joining his team. Hitomi says that he only wants to keep Sakura secured in his base so that she doesn't interfere with his grand plan of bombing the city. Suddenly, Kanda and Ogami get anonymous messages that reveal Hitomi's location. Kanda reaches the base first but is taken control of Hitomi's powers. Yuki tells Ogami about Heike's betrayal, and they immediately visit the base. Yuki holds off Heike while Ogami goes upstairs to confront Hitomi. Kanda holds him at gunpoint, and Hitomi tells him that she will shoot herself once there is only one bullet left. A tense sequence follows, but Sakura's puppy chews through her ropes and allow her to save Kanda, who then snaps out of Hitomi's control. Hitomi shows a collection of clocks. Each one stopped at the time an ex-codebreaker was killed on duty. Then he says that he wants codebreakers to be recognized and respected in society, which is why he wants to strike fear into the hearts of the public and increase their dependence on code breakers. Ogami doesn't agree with him and destroys the clocks. They are about to fight, but Yukihino intervenes and starts a snowstorm, allowing Hitomi to escape. The base starts to explode and Toki arrives to take the others away. However, Sakura chases after Hitomi and gets into the van with him. We are now taken to a flashback where we see how Hitomi made his way up the ranks as a code breaker. He does great for Eden but starts to get affected when he sees one of his teammates die on the job, only for his efforts to go unnoticed. Some years later, Hitomi experiences a similar situation where he is the only survivor of his team. So he becomes Codebreaker 01 and trains the newer recruits consisting of the current Codebreakers. Hitomi gets worried about Ogami's desire to kill and has a discussion with him about it. Later, Hitomi finally gets his revenge on the rogue supernatural who had killed his previous team by making him use his own powers to kill himself. Heike tells Hitomi that Codebreakers can die from using their own powers excessively. It is called Code End. Hitomi gets upset when he learns that Eden knew about this right from the start. He thinks about asking Ogami to join him, but decides against it because he wants him to live a normal life. However, he plans to extract revenge on the Prime Minister. Soon after, the Codebreakers are told that Hitomi had tried to attack the Prime Minister and has gone rogue. Now we're back in the present and Hitomi starts a timer at the Sky Tower. It will trigger explosions across Japan that will kill the Prime Minister and 50,000 other people. Explosions begin all over the country, and Yuki learns that there are 1,500 locations where bombs are planted. The anonymous sender informs everyone about the various bomb locations, and Yuki gets to work on disarming them. Ogami manages to locate Hitomi and demands him to stop. Hitomi refuses and they battle for a bit, but Ogami struggles against him as he is too powerful. Hitomi blasts Ogami with electricity and reveals that he never tried to hurt the Prime Minister. He wanted to talk about giving the Codebreakers a better life, but was attacked instead. Sakura breaks free from her rope and pleads with Hitomi to stop, but he is blinded by his rage. Toki and Kanda also reach the tower and try to get to Hitomi, but Heike obstructs them. Toki battles him but is unable to inflict any damage, till the puppy distracts Heike. The government joins Gotoku's men in trying to disarm the bombs, but they don't have enough manpower to take down all of them. Meanwhile, Yukihina makes his way to kidnap the children with special abilities, but is interrupted by Oji, who is shown to be alive. She fights him and holds him off long enough for the children to be evacuated from the building. Hitomi strikes down Ogami and offers him to join his side, but gets rejected immediately. Ogami tries to attack him, but he goes lost and starts to suffer. Sakura tries to protect him, but he gets choked by Hitomi. Meanwhile, Toki gets to the Prime Minister and contemplates saving him. The timer reaches 0, but it doesn't trigger anything because Yuki has destroyed the van that was the central control station. It turns out that Heike had planned everything from Oji's death to his own betrayal so that he could stop Hitomi's plan from the inside. But Hitomi says he'll just use his own powers to trigger the bombs from the Sky Tower. Toki saves the Prime Minister, but they get involved in an ugly exchange. As Hitomi charges the tower, Oji arrives and blocks him with her shadow powers. The other Codebreakers also arrive, but Hitomi is way too strong for them. Sakura interrupts him again and he hurts her, but then Ogami awakens his true powers by removing his ring. Hitomi unleashes everything in him, but Ogami simply absorbs the electricity like it's nothing. Then he defeats Hitomi with one blow, after which he returns to his original state. Hitomi starts to experience Code End, but remains stubborn with his desire to kill the Prime Minister. Ogami fights him again and knocks him down. Hitomi realizes his mistakes and calls upon the Codebreakers to reveal themselves to the public. However, the Prime Minister comes down and ridicules the idea. Hitomi gets triggered and almost kills him, but is stopped by the other Codebreakers. Hitomi eventually dies in Ogami's arms. Everyone mourns his death, but Ogami says that he got what he deserved. Later, the Prime Minister and Heike have a discussion about using Ogami to fight organizations like the Seiki. The Prime Minister takes pride in his plan, but suddenly coughs up some blood after a dormant electric shock to his body. Each of the codebreakers are now assigned separate jobs at separate places. Sakura learns from Toki that Ogami has already left for his station, but she notices something odd and goes to investigate it. However, she only finds a park full of children playing with flowers. Meanwhile, Ogami is seen fighting a rogue supernatural. And that's the end of the show. Like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on all my latest videos, and drop some suggestions in the comments below. Goodbye for now.